seen has happened before, that you're looking at all indicators. What grows the economy?
Our economy is purely 70% agriculture driven. Informal sector,
so
small businesses.
So if you have the right input, the correct protectionist policies, the correct budgetary allocation in terms of appropriation and all of this, then you would actually see the economy grow in agriculture.
And manufacturing.
You would see that if you did these things, you would see the economy grow. It's been proven before.
Definitely.
So why not do that?
As I said, because we do a finance bill to collect revenue. We are so much focused on what we call developments in terms of infrastructure.
So a major highway is not going to grow the economy?
It would if the model is right. You know? For example, if we give a contractor to do a major highway from here to Mombasa, and 70% of the income from the project is exported back to their mother country, there will be no the ripple effect. And that's what happened with the railway, SGR. Show me anything significant apart from death along the railway that grew out of SGR. Point one.
Yeah.
People going to Mombasa.
No, I'm saying something that have a ripple effect that
on the economy.
On the economy.
Yeah.
Show me one. Very little, because the model was sometimes long.
So this is what I mean. Point us in a direction of what a model would look like that would make sense. Because here is saying that, for example, the money that was used on the SGR was budgeted, okay, at some point, right? But you're saying that if you're budgeting this kind of money for something that is not growing the economy, then it's a loss, right? The SGR, loss-making, many would say. But what would it look like as a model then that worked, then for you to say, yes, look, where you got money from, this is where you put it, and it is actually working?
If I was the one doing SGR, I would have like 3 or 4 dams along that area, so that we are producing and we are exporting when something out of the country. The SGR will bring you to Nairobi, will bring stuff to Naivasha, but when it's going back, it's full of air.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay, so it's not carrying anything.
It's not, there's no commerce.
Doc, that is then the question that has been here, especially when you talk about protection policies and what other governments have done to protect their industries until they grow before they're able to open up to the rest of the world. We talk about our coffees, our teas, we talk about our peanuts, we talk about our avocados, we talk about our sweet potatoes, cane, everything, right? We are exporting a lot of raw materials. Everybody will use our avocados to get avocado oil. They will use our potatoes to make crisps and everything that is nice. They will use our coffee beans, our coffee berries to make the end product. If Kenya built that railway with the intention of adding value in all these products that we have, and we therefore use that to ferry it to the port and to the rest of the world, would it make sense then to see that that railway makes sense, especially for the purpose with which it was constructed?
But what comes first? And I keep asking, you used to have Moses Kuria.
Yes.
When he was a CS trade.
PZs, yeah.
He did a lot of integration centers and all that to integrate what? Because I think sometimes we think development is brick and mortar. We saw a lot of groundbreaking for Moses Kuria's stuff.
Yeah.
To add value, what? Because the upstream is empty.
Yes.
When you want to do an industrial park in Murang'a. Okay. To do what with it? Now we've done the building. We are the middle. We are not even downstream where we do the processing. So what is in our farms? So where do you start? For example, there was this story that in 7 years, that the country imports about 300 billion worth of edible oils. Right?
Yes.
And we were told that the whole of Western Belt produces palm oil.
Yes.
And the government is good to do that. But we forget that for palm oil to mature, it takes 7 years. So even if today we planted one single, we need 7 years. And that's why I said we have lost 4 years. Because we would be harvesting in the next 3 years.
3 years.
So we save our country 350 billion import. You know, we talked about BT cotton. Again, the whole of the region can grow like Kipi and all that. Where is it? So that we can grow our textile. That's why I said we lost 4 years ago when we had the manifesto for KK government. So where is that cotton? So that now we are able to grow our industry and to have farmers money in the pocket. We were told that about 2 million shoes every year in the country. The Maasais are not good to sell hide and skin. They will be selling shoes. Where are they? So that we save 200 million of import of synthetic, sometimes leather shoes. So we lost it 4 years ago. So there is nothing, and that is a budget. 4 years ago, we wanted to see, you know, so that we are told about cottage industries. Where are they 4 years ago? And that is now you understand when I mean about budgeting for economic growth.
Yes.
So if we saw that vote that we lose 5 billion to do a leather processing industry, and we have about 10 million Kenyans who go to school, and government says now all schools we are going to buy for our internal market. You know what it means? You know, if you look at all those what had been sold, that is where we lost our budget making for economic growth. That's why I said it's lost. I don't know whether you understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah. Do you reckon, therefore, if the things you talk about were done and that today in terms of taxation, the government of Kenya would not be so heavy on taxation in terms of raising revenue because the economy itself would feed the country?
Exactly. That's what I mean. When you ask me, it depends on the model. We are doing Liloni Mausamet highway. Okay. Then what?
To take people home during Christmas.
What do we want to find for Christmas before January to Christmas? What do you want to see along that beautiful
highway?
What is that you want to see? You know, the upstream. The design works are there. Then let me put it simply. What are the corporate social responsibility for the road?
What else can it do?
What else can it do?
Yeah.
Apart from taking you to Kerisho, to Kisumu, and road trips.